I want to bring in Jeremy Saland, who is a former Manhattan prosecutor. Jeremy, Beatlemania as one description, people wearing green in support of obviously the Mario Brothers character Luigi, apparently. But $500,000, a ton of fans today, a sign that says jury nullification. Should prosecutors be nervous about even jury selection?
Well, we know, and you know from your experience, all you need is one. You don't need to necessarily get the acquittal. You need one for the hung to hang that jury. But jury nullification is a concern, but within reason too, because you find that jury and you find those people. You can find it for Donald Trump. You can find it for Eric Adams if it ever gets there. You can find it for any case if you do your due diligence and you really make sure you do your homework with that jury selection. I still think you got to try to push if you're Karen Agnifilo for some sort of infirmity, meaning you're not guilty by reason of insanity, very difficult, extreme emotional disturbance, which is even an elevated version of that. But jury nullification is certainly going to come into play because all you need is one.
Speaking of his attorney, Karen Agnifilo, she said that she's still trying to figure out if prosecutors will even pursue the death penalty in this case. I wonder, will that decision change maybe how she defends him? And if so, how?
Well, it's a good question because in New York, that's not, when I say New York State, that's not going to happen. The federal government, the U.S. Attorney's Office out of the Southern District can pursue that. But we also know the Manhattan case is going first in time. My assumption, and I can't tell you what's going to happen, but is if there is a conviction on the state level before Judge Caro, who's a sitting and presiding judge, and they get a murder one conviction, which is going to be a hard lift in my opinion, but even a murder two, which can be up to a life sentence. I don't know whether or not the Southern District continues with that case to redo this again solely to get the death penalty. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but that still does not change that basic issue here, at least on the state level for now, which is if we can get this extreme emotional distress or that other issue of the infirmity, we can get this to a manslaughter in the first degree, which doesn't give a life sentence. Yeah, I still think you have to have that sort of attack of the case other than the initial things, which is the search is bad, any statements that were obtained were done unlawfully, things like that.
The burden still is in the prosecution, but certainly there is a weight to pull if you're the defense in a case so public. Jeremy Saland, thank you so much.
My pleasure.